Hello and welcome to the Hotlapper YouTube channel. This is the YouTube channel where I take virtual cars. In this case it's Forza 7 at the moment. We lap them around the racetrack and we put them on the leaderboard at the end and see how they all compare. In this episode we have the Mercedes AMG GTR, and this is the car that took to Nurburgring, and it's set a time close to the 7-minute mark. It's a really rapid car, and at the moment we need a really rapid car because at the top of the leaderboard we've got the noble M600, which set a 52.9 second lap time, and it's currently in the lead with nothing else really being able to touch it. So will this beast of a car manage to take it off the top spot? Let's see. So as we watch the AMG here start its practice laps, I just wanted to talk a little bit about why I chose this car in particular. When I select a car to go on to the leaderboard, the most important thing that has to stand out to me is, will it be able to give me an interesting lap? I don't want to know what the result will be beforehand. I just want to I want to be able to look at the car and not really know what to expect, other than I kind of look at its power figures. I kind of, just through general knowledge, know what the car is supposed to be about. Like this Mercedes, I know that it lapped the Nurburgring in 7 minutes 10 seconds, something like that, and I know it has a character which is known to be somewhat of a torque monster. It's got a lot of torque, like all Mercedes do. So I thought to myself, with the current leader on the leaderboard being the noble M600 with a 52.9, how will a car that can lap the Nurburgring in 7 minutes 10 seconds compare? And I didn't really know too much about the Mercedes, so I thought, well, why not give it a bash? So I bought this and hit the track straight away. Now you might notice I have been sliding a little bit. The back end's been sliding on these first couple of laps here, but that's really down to the cold tyres. And once the tyres have warmed up, it's the complete opposite. It actually has such a sturdy back end, you can just floor it, and you don't really have to worry about anything else. And you actually think to yourself, it needs more power if anything, because it's just so settled. It doesn't seem like you're even challenging the traction. You can just floor it, and from the apex all the way to the corner exit point, you're just planted. So you can just, it seems a little bit too easy. But with that said, my first thoughts, other than the handling, was the power, and I did think the car was going to feel more powerful than what it actually did. Maybe that might be a result of it being too stable, like I mentioned before, but with the other cars that I've lapped around here, you have a sense that they're monsters in the acceleration department. You think, you put your throttle down, and it's not too long before you got to lift back up and start braking again. And I didn't really feel that in this car. I thought to myself, we're a bit underpowered here. You can never be too sure until you see the time. Like I said, it could just be the fact that the car's so stable, it gives that false sense of security. You don't feel like there's that much power if the car can handle it that well, and I think that might be the case. So other than feeling like surprised by the handling and how planted it is, I was a bit underwhelmed by the power. I was thinking it should feel faster, but there's no denying that it is an excellent car. It's definitely a track car. It can cope with everything and it deals with it fine. And now, as you can see, the tyres are warm. There's really no drama whatsoever. I mean, in some corners it might lose a bit of traction, tail might come out, but it's really sturdy, it's really composed. There's nothing to really complain about this car. It's just well sorted, well dialed in. And I'm not surprised somebody was able to get a 7 minute 10 out of it, because it's a confidence inspiring car. You can just get in and drive as fast as you can. So that's my thoughts on it. Initially I thought, my guess for the lap time, I'm going to start doing a lap time guess, and at this point I was thinking it's not going to be as fast as the Noble, but I was thinking it's definitely going to be faster than the GTR because it's a much later car, and I know this particular car is lapping the Nurburgring with the latest Nismo GTR, the one at 600 horsepower, so it's definitely going to be faster than the 56.9s we've got on the leaderboard from the GTR and the Porsche 911 Turbo. But I don't think it's going to touch that Noble M600. I don't even think it's going to touch the Porsche. The Porsche just seem to be able to do much more than what this can do. So before we go over to the hot lap, let's just take a quick look at the leaderboard so we know what we're dealing with. So here's the hot lap leaderboard, and as you can see at the top we've got the Noble M600. It's a 52.9, and that's as fast as we got last season. And second is the 911 GT3 RS at 53.3, and that took a real long time to beat until we found that Noble that finally took it down. So if I had to take a guess on this leaderboard, I think the AMG is probably going to come. I'd say it might just beat the Ferrari 488. I think it'll be either underneath the Lamborghini Aventador, or maybe it's either going to be below it or above it. But let's go to the hot lap now and let's find out. So we've passed the start finish line and taking the first corner, and as I said before, it's just really stable. You can see we plant the throttle here now and you just floor it. You don't have to worry about stepping out. It goes through the corners neatly, you floor it and you go, and it's same for every corner. So we're expecting a good lap time here. The fastest lap came in on lap 8, so it goes to show how easy it is to set a fast lap. I didn't have to mess about with it for too long. This is the really tricky part when it comes to cars with high horsepower. You can easily skid out there. It's where I skidded out in the Ferrari and a few other cars, and this is the real hard bit to get it settled down that last corner, but the AMG did it really easily there. And what did we pass the finish line in? I'm quite surprised. I did expect a bit better, but there we go. It's a 55-second lap time, bang on. Let's go to the leaderboard now. Wow, so there we go in 6th place. It came with 55 seconds exactly, just 1/10 behind the Ferrari 488, which I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be between the Lamborghini and the Ferrari, to be honest. But there we go. And thanks for watching the first episode of the Hotlapper Show. I think it's been a worthy car to start with. And I'm not quite sure what's going to be next week, but I'm thinking of bringing out the Caterham so far, because I'm thinking a lightweight machine would be quite fun, and I think it's the one with 500 brake horsepower per ton, so it might bring a challenge to the leaderboard, because Limerock Raceway kind of, it promotes not just high horsepower cars but nimbleness as well, and it's why we're seeing such cars as the Pagani with and the Lamborghini with such high horsepower coming below the likes of a Porsche and a Noble with less horsepower, much less horsepower, because the track promotes agility and handling, not just power, and that's why I picked the track in the first place. So the Noble still reigns supreme at the top of the leaderboard, but there is more challenges to come. As you can see in the background, thank you to the subscribers. All the subscribers I get from YouTube. I'm going to be putting the subscribers on the cinema screen at the back behind the leaderboard. So thank you to Danny Marks 7 GTI, Alols099, Jeffrey, NFTT10, Cohen and Danny Goff. Thank you very much for subscribing. If you have subscribed and I've not put you there, it's because I'm not able to see on my statistics, on my analytics should I say. You've got to make sure your subscriptions are visible to the public for me to be able to see them. So until next week, thank you for watching. Goodbye.